Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Wednesday, and that means we bring on the man, myth, the legend, Mr. Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Mike. It's home buying season already in January.
Oh, that's actually not a joke. I actually said this about a month ago when rates started to tick up, and they've raced up as we talked about a week or two ago. It is going to pull demand off the sidelines. And oh, by the way, we ended December with a record low inventory. It very likely could be as bananas as last February and March. And that was the craziest market I've ever seen.
Yeah. And the funny part is I'm seeing it and feeling it. I'm getting text messages from realtors with lines outside of their house. Maybe next week or the week after, MSNBC will have these articles written, right? They haven't heard it or felt it yet. It takes a while for them. You got to listen to Mike's channel to get the finger on the pulse. But I'm telling you, listed at 380, 15 offers, 18 offers, multiple counter offers, in contract at 455, people lined up to go show their clients these homes. In Sacramento surrounding where I'm at, it is absolutely bonkers. And agents are out there, telling me, man, this feels like the craziest spring market I've ever been in. Is it really January 26th?
Exactly.
So to make it, I know it's hard for buyers. So what we're doing now through the end of March, no cost appraisals, if it's your primary residence and if it's a purchase, right? Nice. We want to help buyers who are having a tough go at it, right? The emotional stress of having to offer on 3 or 4 different houses, having to waive the appraisal contingency or something. Maybe the $600 credit we give you to cover the cost of the appraisal, and that's exactly how we structured it. Is most appraisals cost about $500, $550. So up to $600, we're going to cover it. If you have to pay $850 for an appraisal, we'll pay $600 and you pay $250. But a little something to celebrate early buying season in 2022.
Yeah, this is just crazy. But again, I'm so glad you brought that up. We do daily content on this channel, and I told people it's coming, and I've been right a lot lately about what's going on in the real estate market, folks. In most markets, and I told people, if you want to track the crash video nonsense, I tell you, all you have to do is follow one metric. Whatever your buy box is, look at it today, write down the number of available homes. When that number quadruples, we can start talking about prices coming down. It's not going to happen in the first quarter because we're record low inventory. We have a tick up in rates, which just it's so I feel so bad for people. There's nothing there. You have this rates. You were hunting last year. You got frustrated. You took a break for the holidays. Now this comes up. Rates kick you in the ass, and prices are going up. It's like a double whammy. It's like,
right. People are like, yeah, I'm going to wait until the winter. It's 38 degrees out. Nobody wants to go out and shop for homes, and we've got a wild one upon us, which I think me and you both predict a little bit of ease in that. Give us 8 or 10 weeks, let some more inventory come to market, let some of the frenzy jump off the fence, rush to it folks kind of get out and do their thing. And that's why I made a video on it too. I wanted to tell people, like, don't panic.
Take a breath.
Everything's okay, right? And I think it's important for people to hear, did we go from 3 to 3,625 in a relatively short amount of time? Yeah. Are we going to go up another 5/8% in 2 weeks? Probably not, right?
Yeah. How many times did that happen in your 15-year, 10 years of doing that? I mean, it happens, but
I think it's probably like 3 times that I can remember, and here's the good news, Mike. I finally got smart. If you like it, lock it. Literally had everybody locked every day. An absolute genius over the last few months, right? I remember the last few times this happened. I actually remember, was it February of, I know it was a February. I don't remember what February, but I specifically remember looking at my P&L, and I had like 42 loans that weren't locked. And I took, ownership of that. I said, listen, I locked it as soon as I could. I didn't realize the market would move this quick. And, for most people, if they saw a $3,000 shift in the pricing of the loan, I wasn't in complete control of it, but I covered most of that cost across 40 loans.
Ouch.
And that will learn you, right?
Yeah, right. That 100K check probably was not fun.
Right. Where you do a month's worth of work and you're like, oh, my net was a negative number.
Yeah, that'd be an alligator in my words.
Yeah, all the employees got paid, processing got paid, everybody's fine. But for for reputation and for future business, I think I made the right decision back then, but it taught me something like, listen, do not gamble. Right. And so, yeah, if you like it, lock it. If you're purchasing a home in 2022, go to greatmortgagebroker.com. We'll get you pre-approved. If we do it before March 31st and you're buying a primary residence, we're going to pay for the cost of the appraisal.
Awesome. Let me just ask a couple of questions to make sure I understand it so the audience does. This would be a primary residence. So let's be very clear, in any of the 50 states.
Correct.
Okay. Do they have to close by the end of March or get started by the end of March?
That is a good question.
Gotcha.
March 31st. I think
you would have to get started. You would have to think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because if you don't, basically you'd have to start today to be able to close by the end of March.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, dude, you know, I'll tell you something too. It's gonna be posted on socials later. Got the signed contract on the 13th, disclosed on the 14th, clear to close on the 25th. We had to wait 7 or 8 days for the appraisal, but appraisal problems are lesser because there's less refinance kind of clogging up that pipeline.
That's a good point. Refi's down 53%. See video 1. Yeah, you're right. Appraisals suddenly aren't 4 weeks in backlog.
The first 5 or 6 appraisals that we've done this year were back in 3 days, 5 days, 6 days versus it used to be 10, 12, 14. So that has definitely gotten better. So
very,
you got to be competitive when you're buying a house. You got to write a short, close of escrow period. Won't hurt that we're paying for the appraisal. Yeah, get out there.
And where do you want him to go?
Greatmortgagebroker.com.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.